This is a video of my fake Benchmade Model 42 for Arrow, I believe is his name. So here it is. It came in this box, which it's an exact copy of the real box that they come in. It comes with 2 screwdrivers. One is for the latch screws, and then one is for the pivot screws. They actually give you an extra set of screws with it, which is really nice. I was really surprised about that. I mean, I don't know if yours will have it or not, because it just depends on who you bought it from and everything, but they gave me extra ones. It comes with, and sorry I don't have a tripod, this sheath right here. It's decent if you don't have another sheath. It's actually, it holds in there very tight and stuff, but the one thing with mine was on the horizontal carry. One of the little straps here, it got a little bit, well, you can't see with this camera because it's crappy, but it got a little bit torn, like it wasn't sewn good enough. I could probably fix it if I tried, but it's alright, it's just like nylon, like some kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I would say nylon probably. So here's the knife itself. A lot of people said that their latch didn't work, that it wouldn't hold tight, but this one does. It's really tight. Spring works. It's not super tight like on the real Benchmades. Like, it doesn't stick straight out and stay that way, but it still keeps it out of the way of the blade. And anyway, it has a latch gate, so even if the spring wasn't in there, it would still keep the latch out of the way of the blade. So yeah, it even has the markings on it. It says, Bally Song. It's got the little butterfly mark. You can't see in this camera at all, really. And then on the back it says Benchmade USA 440C, which is obviously not true. Well, the 440C part might be true, but Anyway, the stamping here on the blade and on the back of the blade, it is the actual one. The actual stamping is a different color. I think it's like black, and on this one it's like more of a kind of reddish color, like reddish tint. I think one of them might be etched and the other one not, or something. I'm not sure exactly. But it's decently sharp. Let's see here. It's actually like complete, like channel, like it was made out of a whole single block of steel, stainless steel. I've heard that they're not as wide as the real 42s, that they're a little bit thinner. It's not as thin as the M-Tech Twist, because I heard some people say that. It's not exactly. I actually have one. I'll compare it. Okay, there's what you're looking at with a M-Tech Twist. Alright, here is the 42. You can probably tell there's a little bit more beefiness to it. The length, it is probably the same length as the real 42. I'm not sure, but it's just a little bit longer than the M-Tech Twist. Yep, just a little bit, not a whole lot. It's pretty good. Like, if you handed this to somebody who's never held a 42 before, like me, I never have, they're not gonna notice that it's not a real one, because it just looks, so much like it. It's just the little details that you'd have to pay attention to know, like, you know, the weight for one. Like, a lot of people might not even know that titanium is a whole lot lighter than steel, because, I mean, you know, if they're not big into knives and you know, just anything like that, then they might not know. But, you know, someone like me who's looked into a lot of stuff, you know, they're gonna know right away that it's not. One thing that really gives this away is on these little holes, the tinier ones, they drilled all the way through from one side to the other side. So you can see that little notch right there. And that little notch is from the drill press going completely through. And they didn't just drill this side and then drill this side. See, you can see another little notch there where they drilled through. So it kind of cut into the middle section a little bit. And on this side it's a little bit worse. There's 1, 2, 3, looks like even a little bit of a fourth, where they just, you know, drilled straight through. I mean, and so some of the holes might be a little bit bigger than the other ones. Like, you really can't tell unless you sit and look at it and pay, like, you know, real close attention to the detail. But for the most part, it's, I mean, you know, it's a stainless steel 42. I mean, I don't think this thing's gonna break anytime soon. I mean, it's really solid. I mean, it's like a tank, which, I mean, if you've ever looked into the tanks or anything, you know that, like, a lot of people say they're built like, you know, a Jaguar, like they're not gonna come apart anytime soon, even though they are CCC, but they're just, you know, like rock solid, and that's the way this is. Except you can adjust the pins. On this one you can't. So once it gets loose, which this one is really loose, it's just staying that way. Unless you put it in a vise and, you know, do it that way, which I probably wouldn't recommend because you might over tighten it or something unless you know what you're really doing. But yeah, here's a little comparison. It's a little bit bigger than both the twist and the tank. Just a little bit, just a little tiny bit longer than the tank. And then here is a Balio, and here is a CCC that I got with a blade play order. Just green spackle, retarded, yeah, with a crisp blade that had some kind of special going on. It was for Halloween or something, I think. Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I think it was like $43 with shipping, and it's pretty good. My shipping was through DHL, and it got here in about a week and a half, I think. Like, it was really fast. I didn't expect it to be here for at least a month, and it got here in like a week and a half, and yeah, I was just really surprised. It just depends on who you bought yours from, and, you know, the seller and everything. I made sure to check the seller's feedback. I checked their comments to see if they had a lot of people from the U.S. saying thank you, and, you know, stuff like that. Like, I just really made sure that they were a good seller before I got it. And supposedly sometimes customs will confiscate them. I'm not sure how true that is or whatever, you know, but supposedly sometimes they will, but most of the time they won't. It's very rare that they will. You know, it's kind of like if you went and bought a high-powered burning laser from Deal Extreme. You know, sometimes they're going to happen to, you know, check one randomly, and maybe they'd find yours and be like, oh, well, this is illegal over there. You can't have that. So, you know, in that case, yeah, but, I mean, you know, you're taking a risk whenever you buy anything that can't really be shipped internationally without, you know, you're always going to take a little tiny risk. So, but it's pretty good. It's, the pin here isn't that good, the tang pin, and my phone rings. But yeah, that's it, man. It's pretty good. I mean, you probably won't be disappointed as long as you get yours in the mail.